the wall you described and the fear you spoke of on its other side. I sense we each experience this. I feared it coming into the week. Can you say more? I think each of us do experience it, and it has different aspects. I've come back to it numerous times, not just that once. It's a personal experience, and I can't say what it is for you, only what it was for me, and what it has been when it's repeated itself. Wanting to keep myself small, knowing that if I moved through that wall, allow myself to experience the weakened heart that is the essence of me, I had to be responsible. I couldn't just say it's not fair. I really had to open my heart and take responsibility for being love. It felt like too much power to hold. It also felt like I would need to release the ego self in order to know myself as that awakened self. And I wanted to hold on to the ego self, because that was the way I was used to navigating in the world. It's that jumping off the cliff we talk about. What am I going to find on the other side? We're each unique, and there's no one way this happens, but I think this is my own metaphor. You may find something different than a wall. But I think we each experience this, and working with students, I've seen this countless times. Each person meeting their own wall and finding ways to dismantle that wall with compassion. It says, I now have the courage to sit with my pain so I can develop compassion for myself. Thank you for showing us how to be there with the pain, anger, grief, and also related to humanity. There is no difference between my pain and humanity's pain. No different. We are humanity, each of us a microcosm of that humanity. And we each took birth to participate in the healing of that pain for humanity. I will say here that I could never have done this without my meditation practice, with Vipassana and pure awareness. These are the tools I needed. Now I know other traditions will provide their own different tools. But somehow we need a tool to come to know the fullness of ourselves, and to watch how we process the world from this place of the small ego self, and that there is something beyond that small ego self. For me, Vipassana has given me that tool. It's brought me the direct experience of the unconditioned, so that I could trust it. And know that no matter how intense the small ego's pain was, that it was temporary and impermanent, and that it did not define me, and that I could not define myself by it. You said something about remembering as a way to stay on the bridge. Can you say more? Remembering the intensity of suffering when I got locked into the small ego self. Remembering the experience of the unconditioned, whether they're just lightly touching on it or deep immersion into it. That helped me remember that there's something beyond the small ego self, and then remember I have a choice. I can hide out on this end of the bridge. I can feel despair on that end of the bridge. Or I can remember these do come together. Being asked what the waves represented after Barbara got past the wall and she had the waves. I was just wondering what the waves represented for her when she got to the calm water. Could I say more about that? First, these experiences did not come close together. There were several years between them. The wall, for me, was just being willing to explore beyond the ego self, to start to find out what I really am when I'm not busy being the body and the ego. Then the waves, I think, were that which was totally impassable in my previous belief. So I could say, oh, I can't do that. But needing to break through and to trust. I, as ego, can't do it, but love can do it. And allowing myself to enter into that water and go through the breakers. I'm a good swimmer, a very good swimmer. So it was asking me to have confidence in my innate strength. And not to get lost in fear. Now, I found it interesting, and this is not direct to the question, but many of you know that in 2004, I had a near-death experience in the waves at Emerald Isle. I was playing with one of those buddy boards. I can't stand on a surfboard, but I was happily riding the waves, and they were big waves. Not huge waves, but big waves. But I'm a good swimmer, and for most of my life, I've happily ridden waves with some kind of a canvas raft or buddy board or whatever. So I was in there with a couple of other people from the retreat, jumping over waves, playing. When a big wave came in, and I just ducked under it. No problem. But then it caught me off balance, and a second wave came up and caught me and slammed me head first into the ocean floor, knocked me unconscious. The board broke into my ribs, and then I slammed down on my tailbone and had back injuries. So broken ribs, unconscious. It looks like I have some kind of karma with the ocean and waves. And that this meditation experience was probably drawing on some old karma and experience with the surf and near drowning perhaps in other lifetimes. I don't know. All I know is I no longer go into the big surf. I don't have the balance or the strength to do that. I miss it. And I'm grateful to those from that retreat who pulled me out of the ocean, unconscious, and pulled me up on the shore. A few of you were there. Earlier today you said, trust where your practice leads you. I'm so grateful for that statement. It's often difficult to open the heart to trusting. We're right where we need to be. It's easy to feel we need to perfect our practice. Your practice is perfect just as it is. But it's important to keep asking, am I holding myself back? Is there a wall I'm not willing to gently and compassionately allow myself to begin to dismantle? Not for no force. Just, what is the wall that I've created for myself now? Is there one? Maybe not. So that the practice keeps it building and deepening. And then it will be perfect. There's no place we have to go. We just keep inching forward because of the deep intention to awaken ourselves and in service to all beings. We really consecrate our lives, our energy, to this power of the awakened heart. in service to ourselves and all beings, and then trust the practice. Asks, what being did I have to put outdoors? There was a stink bug crawling over my desk. He needed to go out so as not to stink up the room, not to get accidentally stepped on. I want to make sure that I'm understanding what you said, Barbara, that our experiences of the unconditioned and some of the joy that we feel gives us faith and trust so that our egos can let go of control and fix it mentality. I don't get the end of that. Our experiences of the unconditioned and some of the joy we feel gives us faith and trust so that our egos can let go of control. I don't get that and fix it. Oh, let go of the control and fix it mentality. Yes. Yes. The more we can rest in that and see the non-duality of that experience, the non-duality of fear and the place that's completely beyond fear in ourselves, the one who knows, let's call it. To experience the non-duality of the light and love that are our essence, and the places of confusion and wanting to control because of confusion. So, gradually we learn to trust these experiences in ourselves, and they're no longer just that experience. I want to get back to that experience. But we carry them in our hearts all the time. We can't lose them anymore. This is one of the things I love about pure awareness meditation. For me, it's not a profound experience of the unconditioned as I might have with Vipassana, but it's an experience of resting in a very beautiful, broad spaciousness and love, and light, in the open heart. And it becomes more accessible to me. So I can bring it back more easily to my everyday experience than some of the Vipassana experiences. They can become that enlightenment experience, that awakening experience. Where is it now? But with pure awareness practice, it's more accessible to me. So this is why John and Aaron and I like to teach the pulling together of both of these practices and the ways they can work together. We'll talk more about this during the week.